What is up, YouTube? It is Aaron here back with the channel. We are going to do a replay review today with my friend Nick and Mitchell. This is just kind of how I do the coaching session and how we all try to get better as players. We're just going to hop right into it. This is a high-rated dueling book. I think 2 top 50 players. Nick's been on the grind lately, so we're just going to have a conversation over the game. Hopefully you can pick some stuff up, and yeah, hope you enjoy. So, we've got my boy Nicholas playing Crystron, right? And solid hands.
Yeah,
Take
playing
me through
Crystron.
how you're approaching the situation.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's a lot of decision tree. The only play that we have is Scrap Recycler. I wanted to give myself the most opportunity to have a chance to play this game, so I did end up using Fua in the standby phase.
Okay.
Knowing that summoning Scrap Recycler, there's just no chance I'm never going to use it again.
Makes sense. Yeah, because your deck doesn't get
So
like value
on
off
the
of.
Fua blind,
Very good.
when it comes to Fua, I feel like I like it most whenever you know you're about to turn on like the opponent's Izuna. So if for this instance, it's only
Yeah.
plays Scrap Recycler, dump the grave, and then activate a monster. We know Izuna will be online.
Yeah.
So, but if you're playing Yummy, for instance, and you know you're never turning on Izuna, I don't know that I agree that Fua in standby phase is
Yeah.
correct.
No, so there.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
mean
like
this is game one, so
no, but no. So that is 100% points that I make to people like I was coaching earlier this week. The 2 primary decision points is will your
yeah.
deck turn on Azuna early? So like again, if you're playing like a Malice hand, and your hand like kind of struggles if you get like Nash Knight on your normal summon, you can't early Fua/Perulia. And the other big deciding factor is like, does your deck take advantage of like free discards? Like the Yummy deck, like you said. So 2 things, like it takes advantage of the discard, and it never turns on Izuna naturally. So you should like probably just like never really chummy, unless like you're trying to bait them into it so you can like thrust or something like that. But yeah, those are I think just like really good points that hopefully people will be aware of. Like it's not just like an auto game 1. Okay, I chummy. No, like there's decision points as to why you should be doing this, and then we get purged and we set 1 pass. Yep, lovely. I just love high rated DB. Alrighty, hand is way better. We have just a couple decisions. But I don't think you're ever normaling Smiger for your
Yeah.
guy. Your hand's just too good to just not like ever lead Jokel plus Silphador, right?
So if you want to pause real quick, so
Yeah.
I actually do. I'm pretty sure I do lead Smiger here. When
Okay.
he used Purged, like it's obviously he's playing Yummy.
Yeah.
So knowing that I'm going to be able to get access to my inclusion later in the turn, I don't actually need the search. So if there's any way I can actually force him to use any type of interaction when I Smiger, I think that's actually just beneficial for me. Also, because this is post side, Lancia was like a big consideration here. So if I lead Jokel Silphador, yes, they're going to be used, but it gives me a better choice to what I actually want to send because I actually have the options to get things out of the graveyard a little bit more efficiently that way. Specifically through like Clockwork Knight being able to revive like a Tristalos if it resolves properly. So I actually do Smiger hoping that either one it's going to use either a Purge or an Ash,
That
or
makes
2 it's
sense.
going to prompt Lancia early.
You cut out just on the tail end, so yeah, you're just like you gain more knowledge by using the Smiger early because your deck doesn't really have like a normal summon that you value. Like you can obviously add Scrap Recycler off of Tunneler, but if
Yeah,
you're normaling Smiger, like that's what you're gonna send anyway, so it doesn't really change anything.
right. Yeah, like getting the recycler at this point is like never gonna matter. At that point, it would just send another Crystron name that you could get in rotation.
Yeah,
But
between
if
Silphador and
Silphador
Smiger. Yeah.
resolves, then you're just never needing to set anything.
And you're also not playing the blue one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Clockwork Knight. I remember, this is just any machine with 1,000. One machine 1,000 stack. Okay, that's nice. And then so you can. We get late to it. Okay, so you just get rewarded for playing well. Nice. Now we have decision trees based on this. So you can dump like a trap card. You can dump Tristaros to get it back and make a synchro. So yeah, these play correctly and get rewarded. Sick. Wow. All right.
Yeah, and so like so I actually like thought that this would be like fine too. Like now I get to do pretty much everything that I was gonna do last time or last turn anyways, because now I can just go into the regular plays, and I can still make a River Stormer and tribute that off with Clockwork Knight to summon back Tristalos. and then use one of my additional level 5s that I'll search either through Ripper or Case of Canine to summon
Yeah.
itself now that he's use a monster, and then get the Elitis and Buster setup, which at that point, Yummy is just never going to be able to actually deal with any of your interactions. You just have
Mhm.
too much for them to deal with in terms of removal.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a key like thing that I wanted to like point when sending the Tristalis and cluster, why I did the turn one sequencing the
Yeah,
way
if
I
you just
did.
end, yeah, if you just end on like cluster plus infinity, I think it's almost impossible for like a hand trap yummy deck
But
to
yeah,
win.
Dash.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be able to get because I can't Lancia. Yeah, it's going to be really hard for me to get to infinity under the Lancia
Okay.
because inhibitor isn't great. But being able to Skeletus plus cluster plus droplet plus extra rank 5, that's going to be more than enough.
Mm-hmm. We go. Jesus, he just opened every hand trap in his deck. Okay, so
Hey, Embrim's here.
so now what do? We go nothing, right?
Yep. I said droplet pass. If you want to go ahead and show both here, he actually ends up scooping, so I don't want you to miss the next game, and you can maybe see what his hand was because I
So yeah,
hadn't looked at it yet.
factor surprise.
Yeah,
No
so you can
play.
kind of see
Sick.
here.
I mean, that's good, right? Because there was. I mean,
Your
you have
minions, yeah.
droplets, so you
So
check like whatever, um, like a fair amount of potential top decks. Like he has to open like. I mean, I guess if he opens like school to re-engage or whatever, you kind of lose. But you have Cup
yeah,
deck.
if you draw school, then so be it, right? Like school or
Yeah.
Cupsy,
I mean, it also just shows that
like it's
like
going
it
to be a really
required
tough
triple
battle,
hand
but
trap to be Sylphidor
just
plus
leaving myself
Cookie.
with the right follow up is the only way to win. Yeah, triple
Okay.
hand trap, including one of them being Lancia specifically.
Yeah, because that would cut off whatever like multiple different plays. Oh shoot. Uh,
Yeah.
so our hands solid into Yummy. Are you? So what are your thoughts on Fluid? Are you doing
Yep.
it in draw slash standby? Are you waiting?
Because the way my hand was set up with Dark Ruler, I chose not to do it in the standby.
Mhm.
He showed me that he was on hand traps, in more ways than one. I assume there's a chance that there's like potentially for breaker, but I don't really think I'm too worried.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not gonna put anything on the board typically this turn, so it's not like thrust for talents and just look at my hand and get everything there. So if he sets something off, like my hand is like obviously not very good right now. I just want to make sure I can actually play the game and get value.
Yeah,
So I wait.
I think that is correct. So yeah, I brought it.
I
So
think there's like a world you do it, but like if you can guarantee plus and put them in weird off cards like school.
yeah. Yeah, so so Mitchell and I have had this conversation lately, and he brought up some really good points about like when you should chummy early. Um, one of them, so like last
Mm-hmm.
format, whenever you had like the chummy plus droll, it was kind of better to like chummy on res of like a bonfire or something, because like if they went like whatever, or like on an X, like X add
Mm-hmm.
sword, you chummy there to check for Ash. That way you could like droll if it didn't resolve, because like sometimes you got to draw, and if not, like you got to droll them. And he made some good points against like the
Mm-hmm.
Vanquish Soul matchup where if you go for like if they go like Holy Suit to reveal, waiting for Holy Suit to reveal like on field to summon from deck is actually like incorrect in probably most situations. Just because if they have Ash Blossom in hand, they can just go like Holy Suit reveal Ash, okay, you Fua, and then they can just like Ash you. So there are a couple different spots where Fuing early is correct. And against this deck specifically, the Yami deck, you seen like showed some lines earlier on his YouTube, and he like they didn't call me out, but he's like, I disagreed with the way Aaron played a situation where he like Fued in response to school over ashing. Um, from my perspective, when you're playing the Vanquish deck, you just like, and I think Crystron's somewhat similar, where like you just want engine cards in your hand, and especially when you're playing breakers, right? Like if they give me whatever 1, 2, 3 draws, I'm really content with that because I think my engine's very strong. And when you have breakers, you're just like, cool, I get to like draw a bunch of cards and hopefully just like play through your board. Um, but I think probably like one of the exceptions to that is if you have like Fua Ash. So like
Mm-hmm.
probably Fuing and standby is better. That way, okay, if they schooled, then or like they check the Fua with Ash or whatever, then you can Ash schooled. Instead of just like waiting until main phase, they first action schooled. Now you have to like make the decision and like if that called by you, get screwed if they have Ash for Fua, then like Ash after that point doesn't really do anything. So Mitchell has helped me realize some
I would
things in
also
this
say like
situation.
I agree.
in
Yeah.
like in standby here, I probably would have fluid because specifically like you don't have any other monster hand traps right now. Like really Typhon on their turn against Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I would just rather play around the one of talents, I think.
I get it, but like your hand, if my
And
hand was
especially if my face is
any amount better, like if I open this inclusion over the lupus, I would agree. But I think like you kind of do have to draw like one more good card to play the game.
I had
So
no
I just
engine, so
yeah, like, he currently can't do anything off of this, right? I don't. You have Case of Canine Index, like technically maybe, but like if he has like an interrupt, you lose. So, but if you draw this inclusion or like whatever, Jokul,
right,
you're just
yeah.
like in a game winning position, like immediately between Dark Ruler and that. So I think it makes sense, especially when you see like the hand trap version. I think they're like
Also, like,
uh,
important to mention,
hmm,
like, a little bit of context too for like what Mitchell said, right?
yeah,
Like, I know you mentioned like Typhon. I actually don't have Typhon on my extra deck for this one because I was playing the National Night package, which you'll I think believe you see in this turn at some point.
yeah, we do.
Um, so I think just getting the full value off of the Fua, I think is something that I want to guarantee. And if there is a chance they have a card that immediately trades Fua into a 1-for-1 immediately and forces them to play further, I think that's like my only chance of like getting out of this really poor structured hand. And luckily, it was obedient schooled. If it was another card, the game could go very differently. But I don't think
Mhm.
doing it in the standby phase really changes too much there, other than maybe giving him a little bit more information of how he might start his turn.
Yeah.
So I think at this
But the only
specific hand,
difference
I
might
think it was
be
better to hold.
What were you saying, Mitchell?
like if he doesn't obedience, you can stand by, right? So like, let's say he has no counter.
Hmm. I mean, so if his hand is
So if he
like
has like no
schooled
Ash, no call,
plus,
instead he decides to roll a name and then do the half board. If he decides to do the half board,
yeah,
then you have Dark Ruler. So like the half board gives you one draw, and then you just Dark Ruler at the start of main, and then he's done for.
yeah, but you're content with him full
So
boarding
my
No,
because you have
concern
I'm
Dark
isn't
not
Ruler.
saying it's
necessarily
100% correct.
yeah, like I'm okay with
I'm
the
not gonna
full
say
board primarily. Like not like I would prefer obviously not to do the full board. And if I Fua at any point in this turn, like I assume I'm not getting full boarded if it resolves. If it doesn't resolve, then obviously this game is probably just a wash. So for me, I think the only way I win this game when I'm looking at it outside of just his Yummy engine is I need more cards. They're gonna let me help push through his non-engine, which is what I'm most concerned about. Because at this point, even with my hand currently, even with Dark Ruler, there's a chance that I could just not push through a surprise if it resolves. And so I wanted to make sure I could get as many cards off of Fua as possible. And if that means I get a chance to
Did this thing freeze?
use it as a chainable 1-for-1, just having to on a res of something, then I think that I would rather do that.
Sure. I just think like use of hand traps is like one of the biggest like skill differentiators.
Agreed.
So it's
No,
like
no,
good to
I
like really
think context is
evaluate how you're
important for
using
sure.
them.
Yeah, like this conversation is important for everyone to have and
Yeah,
understand.
and
Like,
I think there's
yeah, you're good.
yeah, and I think there's like worlds like in other hands, and I think like you mentioned, there are a lot of the hands you are probably supposed to do in the standby phase. I think my hand specifically,
Yeah, like
I
you're
needed to get
playing.
as many cards as possible.
You need hands.
Means
You have
holding as
Dark
of
Ruler
get
to
that's the
check
win
his
condition.
board. So like you said, like you just need as many cards as you can get to play around everything else. This is our hand now. Good Crystron engine. No canine. Like we have Lantern obviously, but like we have to get Lupus out of hand for that to like be relevant. We can obviously normal summon lanterns. That's something we consider in the future. So yeah, we know Purge here, and this is surprise, and then whatever in hand. I don't think we know any cards at this point. I assume not.
We do. We know
We know
Cookie and Cupsy. He searched
okay, we
2
know
off of
two.
the Cupsy anyway, so I actually
Okay,
know 2 of the cards.
so then we're in a pretty good spot.
How are you thinking about starting this
I
turn?
Yeah,
think
Dark
so, yeah.
Ruler?
yeah.
Yeah, so I actually tanked, I think, for like a good like 30, 45 seconds because I was wondering because he only has Snatchy in rotation. I thought about using Imperm in the draw phase, Cupsy, and
Hmm.
see if he would use it just to put the Snatchy on the field and then use the first Dark Ruler. Um, I ended up opting to not doing that because I thought there was a chance that if he has an additional non-engine piece, that my turn isn't going to go exactly the way I want it to, then I would want the Imperm as an interruption,
Yeah,
knowing that I had 2 Dark Rulers. So
that is
I thought it was like an actual decision tree at the
no.
beginning.
That is a really good observation. That like if you use Imperm Dark Ruler here, then you don't have you have Dark Ruler in your hand, assuming the game goes long, because you are obviously you're Dark Ruling them, you can't kill them. So like being able to get full value off of all of your
Mm.
cards over the course of the long game is important. So yeah, I think that is 100% the correct decision. because obviously Imperm isn't like great on the follow up, but like there's maybe a small chance that they like don't place minion on the field this turn, or like you cut off a cup C follow up. So like I think it definitely because like again like you just like have Dark Lord sitting in your hand, like what does that do for you? Like at least an Imperm has an opportunity to be good. So you get purged here, which is I think best case scenario based on your hand. So from here,
Yeah,
you
I have
think
2 decisions here. Like now it's like, do I just do Solfafnir, pitch Solfador, or do I use Solfador? I think it's better to use Solfafnir, pitch the Solfador, specifically because what ends up happening is I still get into Solfador rotation or any of the Crystron monsters, but it doesn't machine lock me. And my hand is very vulnerable if I get machine lock now. So opted to do near knowing that he only has surprise and one other potential interaction. So I thought that was like the best line. I don't know if you see anything different if you would have led Solfador, but I think if you lead Solfador, you're going to open yourself up to more.
No, like my other thoughts were
use
like
without card in hand to be able to pitch at any time.
Yeah, sorry. For some reason, it's being weird. I think my other considerations were like leading Lantern / Lupus, but like I played it out in my head real quick, and you kind of like in a perfect world, if they like book / pop, like if they book some of your guys, you would like to be able to like Lupus tribute someone over, get a Sulfador on field, and then like make a rank 5 that way, detach Lupus, and then get to Lantern. Um, so I think that is like the goal with the K9 cards in hand. Like that's how you get them both into rotation naturally. Because there's obviously no way to guarantee Azuna gets live. You can if you can do to like Ripper and search Shoko, that's ideal, but Shoko probably doesn't provide too much from this situation because they obviously have like a Croaky plus everything else. So they'll get like one pop off of Cookie, most likely. They may get 2 pops if they go like summon back, or they surprise. Summon. So Snatchy, Synchro becomes a Croaky Pope, and then like so they get like at most I think a pop and a double book, and then you can Dark Ruler again. So as long as you sequence in a situation where you're not just like setting up like 3 life bodies to get interacted with, you're probably in a good spot to win the game. So you go Soulfafner because that's like what you decided. Like not machine locking yourself, I think is the best in this. Like you want to avoid it as long as possible, especially when you open K9 cards. So you do this if it's Sulfador, and then you pop Inclusion, which gets that interrotation, which I like. Then you pop itself to get Staros here, or
I believe I actually went Solfafnir or Solfador. Sorry, Solfador off the Solfafnir. I wanted to get to the cards in the graveyard. Right at this point, I'm not necessarily too scared of Lancia. If he Lancias me, I think it actually like relatively puts me in a like perfectly fine spot.
Really?
Because I have Lantern plus Lupus, right? So like he can't actually like interact.
If he lances you
I
and
think
then just
so.
like you summon a guy, get booked, you usually lose the game, right? Unless I'm missing something.
No, so what ends up happening is technically here I actually make a mistake, I believe in this game. But if he Lancias me here, I can go use Sulfador in graveyard, pop the inclusion, and then I can activate the Lupus in my hand if I so choose. And then he's forced to enter. If he doesn't, I can just make Vinmana. And then it turns off everything. And if he does it that way, then he's just going to lose all of his bodies through the Lantern normal summon.
Yeah. So if we don't get Lanced here, I think we win through no interrupts. Tristaros and Smiger. Okay, we get Lanced. So...
Yeah, and I think that was my biggest like thing is like if the Sulfador resolves, I think whatever I send, it just wins the game if I don't get Lanciad, right? If I send Tristalos, like what do I actually gain there out of just like Spawn Trap Negate? I don't know if the Spawn Trap Negate is like actually too relevant because what ends up happening is if he does this properly, then even with surprise, he would just go surprise, summon back the Snatchy in his graveyard, and then I would train Tishalos, right, to summon either Skeletus or to summon Don Draxter. It would be more than likely always be the Skeletus. But then he just is able to use the Snatchy to quick synchro Book of Moon and then pop whatever other card he wants at any point. So I think it's just the Tristalos is just better in the graveyard in this situation.
I think it makes
assuming that the Lancia is not present, but obviously it is, so it's a little bit
Alrighty, so we have to play through
So
surprise now. We get Lancea, sure. Normal lantern. So now seems pretty rough. I agree. This is, I think, the next.
yeah, so I had a decision, right? I could Yeah, so I could have led the Lupus, but I determined that the only way I could win this game is if I summon Lantern and I just get him to use Surprise to spin the Snatchy
Mhm.
and not use Snatchy effect. Technically with this, but I could have an Azuna in hand, and then Azuna would be effectively the same thing to continue Zeus him.
Yeah.
So I identify that like if I don't Lupus here, then he knows, or he assume it's probably not in my hand, and hold the Snatchy for a better moment when I make a 5, to be able to get a pop and a double book,
Mhm.
versus just doing it now and not really getting too much out of it. So I end up getting a chance to dark roll for him here, which I think was a massive mistake for him.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
I think that was what ended up making me choose to do Lantern over Lupus.
Yeah, because if you summon Lupus, I think you just get booked, and like now you can't get Lupus. I mean, you can't add back, because you already self enter, so you can't like pop it, like the Lupus swing it's there. And there's like
Yeah,
another roll.
my only other play would be like tribute Lupus and then search Izuna would be my only like go get Case and then get Izuna that way.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is. So we do this. He goes surprise. For sure. We go lollipop. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, you get cooked. Oh, he gets cooked here by this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he just thinks,
Yeah, so
oh
he
yeah,
goes
okay, this is.
pop. He goes make Solipo, pop Lantern.
I can't decide if I like
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to double book here from his perspective. I don't know if these bodies like provide for
I
him.
think so too. I know he. Yeah, I'm not sure
I
if they
think
do
double book.
either. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be double book, and I'm probably supposed to lose this game. But
Mhm.
um, he goes Olipo and gives me a
Like,
chance.
yeah, because just save a Croaky here. Like the double book is so free anytime they have 2 5s
Yeah,
on
I
the field.
concur. We go Lupus. We go
Like,
Ripper.
what are you afraid of? I guess like last cards is Zuna Jokul specifically.
So now we go Azuna. We do Jokul, Sulfador, Send. Okay, your bodies stuff. Okay. Hmm. So this is, yeah, we're not we're machine locked now, right? Because you self effect, yeah. Um, and this is an
Yeah, when they
imperm.
use
So
Sulfador.
now our game plan is, so we know his hand, right? We knew we had like Cupsy plus Cookie, I think.
Cupsy and Cook. Yep.
Okay, so Cupsy Cookie unknown. So he goes summon. So I assume we're gonna just be like imperming Cupsy whenever that gets summoned, and then like his synchros are also stuck in
Mm-hmm.
grave too. So if you just like Vomana the Snatchy as well, like I think the game is probably over. He can never just like out the Zeus like naturally. Um, and then like you just have Crystron fall up in grave
Yeah,
too.
because he only has his only synchro is Cookie. So like yeah, it's exactly like if you go summon Cupsy, I imperm. He goes Snatchy, I go Vimana. He can summon the Cookie and make Cookie Yummy Way, and because I have Lupus under the Zeus, he can never touch it.
Yeah. So he goes. Wait, did I miss something? Did he normal? Oh, so he drew Cookie for turn. Normal's Cookie and makes this. I'm so sorry. Like entered. He drew that. Sent Cookie from. Oh, you had that on field already. I'm tripping. I forgot I activated. You didn't care all the
No, so
bodies.
he went the Cookie style into C.
Yeah. I missed that there was a Cookie on board still. So he goes Cookie and then special Cookie, and now we're here. The Cookie and the Snatchy, special Cookie, and now we're making a synchro,
Mm-hmm.
which is I assume Olipo. That's all he had, or Cookie
Yep.
anyway. We go imperm. So you do this to. If he chains, you just Vomana it. I
Yes.
assume, yeah. And then we know he has Cookie, but he has not normal. He's special with Cookie, so he can technically go normal. But we'd play around a Croaky getting effects.
The cup.
Hmm. Oh, so yeah, okay, so this is negated. Now that's
But here's
theirs.
the thing. So even if I figured this out, if were to batter or gate it, summon the C, I just let it pretty much ride because he just goes cup C, search surprise, and then he's gonna end up using the cup C that goes to his last snatchy, I believe. I believe he has one more in the extra deck if you want to check the graveyard.
Yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, he has one more, and then at that point, he has 2 things he can do. He can go activate minion and try to reborn, and if he does that, then I can Zeus him, and then his surprise is just a reborn for 1, which in that game state is like not necessarily a bad thing because he just holds it for follow up, but then he also has to deal with my follow up engrave. I think I'm going to win there, assuming he doesn't draw another Lancia. If he does anything else, I think it's just worse for him. So I think not using the cookie yummy way is like fine, but now I think he also is just like not putting himself in a good position to win because now he has to link off the cookie yummy way to go into another snatchy to be able to continue really playing and doing anything meaningful.
Yeah. And yeah, bunch of Fuwalos. What is that? I'm just like, so now that like all cards are known from this perspective, like if I'm him and I see this thrust in his hand, oh, did we? I guess we missed a cup C, right? Or did he pitch it off a cup C on your turn or something? Like we see his hand now. Like this game should be lost.
No, he
you.
pitched. Oh, maybe he did.
Okay, so
I
you
was
missed
pretty sure he
something.
pitched a Hornet Drones, but I guess I was wrong.
Well, he pitched it on your turn, and then did he cup C again on your
Hmm.
turn? Or on his turn, then your turn?
Oh,
No, okay, he got Dark Rulered. We
he
missed
must
something then.
have.
Okay, so this is he drew thrust for turn. He
What
had
did
2
I?
lances in hand.
Oh, he must have summoned it for the body, and I didn't see it.
Oh, on turn 0.
Oh, he did summon it for the body. No,
Okay.
he
Oh yeah, you're correct.
summoned it after the beating school prize. Okay.
So now that we
So
see
we
this,
only
why
knew
would you
Cookie. So
like you
yeah, I guess
can? Hmm.
my thought process. But
I mean this is like what happens, right? Like sometimes you just like
why would I chain
forget.
what?
Like I mean, you're playing against Vanquish, right? Like you forget all the cards in hand. You don't know all the attributes. Like it's just part of the game, and sometimes. So from his perspective,
Mhm.
shouldn't you just like
Yeah.
chain Cookie, use thrust, take Zeus, clear it? I guess he doesn't play his own Zeus, so he can't really out it. He could theoretically like tribute summon Lancia over the Zeus.
He plays Typhon though. He plays Typhon.
That works as well. Yeah. So he's 2 different ways to out your Zeus. So he can like put you on 0
How many
cards.
Yeah.
names does he
Hmm?
like what names does he have engraved? He might not like
He has at least
like
one
the
of
thrust might
everything, I
not be able to
assume, unless he plays 2
like obese,
cookie.
right? Oh, he should have names.
He's got plenty of names.
Yeah.
So if I'm him, I'd probably go turn Cookie, or I wanted to tag out initially.
Yeah, he doesn't have a way to deal with the Zeus, so that's the problem.
Yeah, so like, because you want to go like kind of snatchy to put a Croaky engrave so you can start recycling resources. But you also have no way to force anything from him here. Like you're forcing yourself on top deck. But like I don't see how you win from here. I guess you can like make
The best
Typhon because you made Typhon over Cookie. It's the same
I
thing,
think
right?
the best
Where
thing he can do
hmm?
I think the best thing you do is probably set himself up for like so like if he goes like link 1 here, place minion, revive 1, you can go Lipo revive. So you're gonna have to put back Lollipo with the a Croaky first.
Yeah. Yeah, you can thrust for a beating school.
But
Yeah,
you
this
still
seems.
player
How does he?
and you
I
can
don't know
still
what.
make a Typhon.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can add. Yeah, so like even if like you never Zeus him, if he just goes, um, make link 1, activate minion, summon guy back, shovel back some synchros, I assume Cookie or Lollipops, whatever. And then like eventually like try to enter battle phase. You can play around thrust and like he can just like obedience school him in phase 2, I guess. I'm not sure what resources he'll have in rotation there, but like this seems like a pretty difficult game for both players to continue. This was the other line that I considered from his perspective.
It's Zeus
A
at
balanced
both.
attack. Which I don't really hate, right? Like you out the board and then you Lancia, but like now because you didn't get to thrust this turn, if he puts you on top deck, you like he Lancias you next turn, but he doesn't have a lot of resources in deck to top deck because he's already resolved whatever a beating school. He has like 5 names out of deck. So most of his deck is on engine here, and he has to draw the 3rd Lancia to stop you from killing him on like the 3rd turn after this. So he does this attack, sure. But like now what? Okay, Lancia, sure, set cluster, you win. Or okay, or you just draw that, and it's even better. Sick, dude. Then have an Ash, sure. This is well for you. And I assume you play a second target for Nash. Oh, nice, makes it even better.
I think
Yeah, so this is
Yummy
why
plus,
like so
Loki
you got full
foe.
value out of those dark rolls on turn 0 and it won you the game because you got to use Empire follow up. And on his turn, like he needed to be a little bit more proactive to guarantee to get this thrust off because, like I was able to point out, like over the course of the next game, like he looked at the turn he was in and was like, okay, how do I out the current board? But he didn't look at like how he's winning the game over the course of the next like 3 turns. Because when you're both on top decks and he doesn't have that many good top decks, he's putting himself in like whatever the 30 to 40% chance of winning the game on the spot when there's a chance when if he goes for the Snatchy and Dominion to like try and force out the Zeus, he has a little bit higher chance. And at the end of the day, he can always just like try and fall back into making the Typhon over your Zeus later. We sided out the minion. That is crazy.
Yeah, you can always do that later with the Yummy deck.
Okay, he just sided out minion, so he had no options.
Oh.
That's what the hell? Siding out a field spell going
that
second.
changes
I don't know if he was
He went
joking
first,
or not.
didn't he? What? So go,
Yeah,
if you
he
went,
went
if
first.
you told me you sided out one of them going second,
Yeah.
I could like kind of see it just because like you don't want clunk. And like let's say you're playing like against a super combo deck where you're probably not getting into a grind game, you can maybe convince me. But like going first into a combo deck where like you may need an extender, you may also need a pop, like that seems very like if I'm gonna keep one, and it's probably gonna be the minion over the Akroki, personally. Especially like when Crystron's like kind of known to play breakers like a reasonable amount of time. So I think that is a pretty impressive.
But Akroki's only really good going second.
So Croaky going first is
believe
not bad to
the
play on
minion's
Nib,
even
like
an
that, and it
option.
also protects your minion, like it leaves it in deck, which is something I've seen people do. I've had like people tell me about it, and it makes sense. Like now that I've learned the deck a little bit more, but like a Croaky being on field turn 0 is best because you have minion index still to like end the game on the turn 3. I just can't really see an argument to not have it in your deck. So like minion is definitely by far the better card just because of how much pressure it applies, and like follow up obviously. Alrighty, so Discord had a little bit of problems picking up everything, so hopefully it will be fixed in the future. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful for everyone involved, and see you in the next one. Deuces.